What is going on, everybody? Hello, good evening. Hello, you beautiful people. I am your host, Redders TV, and welcome to XBL Party Podcast, episode 60, I believe it is. Joining me tonight, we have my good buddies, Sentinel and BMG, and also Fuzzy Belvedere and WebDave. So, good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
We're good.
Good. Very good.
Living the dream.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what is, I'll tell you what, we'll start off how we always start off. What has everybody been playing? Fuzzy Belvedere, do you want to take it away?
Sure. I've been playing a little bit of everything, to be honest. Earlier today, was playing a little bit of Division 2, Forza Horizon 5, trying to get the last few cars for this. Well, since the week just changed for this season, trying to get the cars for this week. Since I'm going to be playing Diablo probably for the next millennium, I wanted to at least get some of the cars before too late on Horizon, and then played a little bit of Undisputed on PC. Been enjoying that, and always got to get my daily card or daily marathon card for Gran Turismo 7. So that's pretty much my usual routine, at least until Diablo release happens later today.
Yeah, that's fair enough. WebDave, what have you been playing?
Diablo 3 it was on sale last week, so I picked it up, been playing through it again, and then PSO on a private server. So
Nice.
that's about it.
Groovy. BMG, what about you? Let me guess, Marvel Snap and Destiny 2.
Oh yeah, you can't go wrong, because once you go Marvel, there is no other rival. Yeah, my usual daily play of Marvel Snap, just a couple of games a day now. Still need to work on my level. I think I'm 1,780 something, so I need to catch up and work through the current season on that. Just not had time, we're busy with work, and my usual Destiny 2 Season of the Deep has dropped now, so I'm into the second week of that for the content. Nice. So making my way through that, and again I've bought and I got it through actually using my Microsoft reward points. I picked up Star Trek Resurgence, the Detroit Become Human type style of game.
Cool.
I've literally only managed to just start it, but it's just been that busy. I've not had actually a chance to sit and play it yet. So I'm hoping I'm going to get an hour or two into it tonight. But I liked it when it was revealed. I'm more of a Star Wars fan than Star Trek, but I don't mind either. I enjoy like the Picard series and stuff like that, and the Star Trek Discovery and Strange New Worlds, which season 2 drops soon, I think actually. So I'm quite. I like that sort of thing where you got to make decisions: who lives, who dies, routes you go on. I like them type of games. It's fun, but yeah. So I'm going to hope to get more into that tonight. But that's about it, to be honest.
Cool. Sentinel, what have you been up to?
Actually been playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And I did want to bring this up because I know a talking point for PlayStation 5 was, oh, you can't play this game anywhere, and it's not like Titanfall 2. You can only do this on the solid-state drive. But actually playing this game, they're essentially doing exactly what EA did with Titanfall 2, which, of course, was multi-platform. And it wasn't a next-gen game. It was a last-gen game. And it's a great game, but it kind of... it's like their game, whenever you compare it to Titanfall, pokes holes in that argument that you can only do it on PS5, and obviously it's coming to PC now, so it kind of their argument doesn't hold water. But it's a great game, and if you do have a PS5 or if you have a PC and it can run this, it's definitely a game you should check out. On Xbox, of course, I've been playing Halo Infinite. I always play multiplayer on Halo Infinite several times a week. It's actually a lot of fun, and the one thing I can commend 343 on is that they're sticking by it. And they're constantly updating it and adding new content. So it's a lot of fun.
Cool. Fair enough.
Probably had a word with Bungie.
Right.
How to do a live service properly.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
So, I haven't played anything again this week. It's like 2 weeks now I'm going on without playing any games. There's nothing out at the moment I really want to sink my teeth into. I'm hoping to pick up Diablo 4. is it this week? End of this week that it's out, or in the beginning of next week?
Yeah, I think so.
But I did manage to binge the entire season of Aussie Gold Hunters because that's fucking fantastic. So yeah, let's get it. Oh mate, it's on like DMX in the UK. It's on Discovery, but it's I like really weird shows where like gold hunters go out and find gold and shit like that. And yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get into some topics. I'll tell you what, we're going to start off with the two topics that BMG brought to my attention today because I feel like they're more important than the topics we actually have. And the first one is actually quite a damning one about Redfall, where some Redfall developers had hoped that the troubled Bethesda title would have been cancelled or at least rebooted by Microsoft upon acquisition. So from what I've read, it sounds like they didn't have a lot of faith in the game anyway. A lot of people left Arcane because it was a multiplayer game and they didn't want to work on a multiplayer game. And it sounds like Xbox just came in, bought them up, and just let them carry on with it, even though the people that were working on it didn't want to work on it. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? This is quite a decent little topic.
I kind of wish instead of them canceling the game, they would have done similar to what Obsidian did with Grounded and released it in early access. If there was a lot of, I guess, either not really lack of direction or whatnot, depending on how you or what Schreier's report says. I think if they had released it in early access or something to that effect, that would have given them time to kind of mold the game to the player base it would appeal to. I mean, there's a lot of fans of vampire-related games out there, and they could have seen from there if the focus for multiplayer or single player would have been the bigger push and kind of build it around that. I still think there's potential for them to kind of, update or tweak the game in a way that will make it, I guess, have a little bit better staying power amongst the player base. But I think instead of canceling it, it's now that, Microsoft has it where a lot of these teams can release things into Game Pass and like that type of like early access type of deal.
Yeah.
I think that would have been the better option. I mean, yeah, they could have canceled it, but then what game do you have that studio work on? Do you have them work on a Prey 3 or technically their version of Prey 2, kind of, or 2 to their version of Prey, or have them work on something totally different? But I think an early access approach would have been probably the easier pill to swallow.
Anyone else? Sentinel? Go on. Anyone?
Yeah. I just, you know what? I feel like if the developers kind of had a feeling about this and they said, hey, you know what? It needed to, it needs to be rebooted or at least it needs maybe to take a different direction or incorporate different elements. Fuzzy has a great point because early access can help a game so much. There was a game, it was actually made by Hinterland. It's a Canadian independent game studio, and they made The Long Dark, and The Long Dark released in early access. It was pretty bare bones, but they listened to feedback, and a lot of the feedback they received was eventually incorporated into the game. And yes, you can release something in alpha state and say, hey, it's alpha, but we have a Reddit where you can basically give us feedback and we'll listen to it. We'll engage with you guys. If they did that, no one could fault them for it releasing in the state it was in back then, though. And incorporating all of this feedback, listening to what works versus what doesn't, it prevents them from releasing a game that's supposed to be a final product that doesn't feel like a final product, Yeah. It's like you don't want to release a game that you're spending a lot of time wrapping around and saying, hey, it's going to be one of our big titles next year, and then it ends up falling short. You absolutely don't want that, and early access is a great way to avoid that. Yes, you can have people say, well, it's still in early access and it's not a final release, and it's like, yeah, but they're giving you a chance to play it number one. to see if you're going to like it. And number two, this shows that they're willing to listen to feedback and incorporate it to make the game better rather than releasing a final product and saying, hey, you know what, we fucked up. I mean, because that's not good. It's like, because that's going to piss everyone off. And you remember right after Redfall released, how many podcasts had that as like the topic? Everyone tearing Redfall to shreds. I mean, it was like on every single Xbox podcast, and the way to avoid that is early access.
Yeah.
I'll read this bit of the news article if you want, because it kind of gives a bit more context to.
Yeah, I was just about to go for it.
Oh no, you go ahead, mate. You go ahead if you want to do it.
So, just shed a bit more light on what we're talking about. It came out today in Bloomberg that the game's development was hampered by a clear lack of direction, a high turnover of staff, and insignificant resources for what was billed as a AAA game. The report, which is based on the accounts of over a dozen anonymous sources who worked on the title, said the project started development in 2018, and after being pitched to staff as a multiplayer arcane game. Some members reportedly found the pitch confusing and felt unsure of what sort of gameplay Arcane was known for would translate well to a co-op setting. The game also suffered because its development team was continually understaffed, with Arcane Austin's office employing fewer than 100 people and insufficient outsourcing support offered by Bethesda. So it really does sound like they were kind of thrown under the bus on this one, which is... a bit of a shame.
Yeah, well, it kind of shows, doesn't it? It's like they've it's literally come out and said it's a game they didn't want to make. It's a game that they had struggled getting staff for, and devs actually left because they didn't want anything to do with it, and they were hoping, the studio was hoping Microsoft would cancel it or help a lot more than what it was. It's not a game style they're used to working with. They make the single player story narrative games, and they are very good at that. And then it's like making Crystal Dynamics make Marvel's Avengers. It's a game they don't do. It's a live service game is not something they do. They don't do that. They do the single player games, and they're good at it. And the fact that ZeniMax was pushing for more Bethesda studios to make live service games, because everyone wants to make live service games because they make money off it.
Yeah.
But the fact that, personally, I don't think this game should have come out, and I'm sort of with the devs on that it should have been cancelled. It's not what they wanted to work on. It's something they were forced to do. And they didn't have the support to actually make it a success. And the fact that it was going to be laced with microtransactions, which was only what cancelled the script
that in 2021.
Yeah, it's just not good. Don't get me wrong, the game, it's fun with friends. There are a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, but playing with friends, you can have a bit of a laugh. There's no way that this game would be a successful live service. It's just...
And this leads back into another issue that we've talked about with Microsoft as far as its relationship to Bethesda. A lack of oversight from Microsoft. They're like, hey, Bethesda, you can do what you want, right? But now that we're hearing all these employees were leaving, nobody wanted to stick by this project. It was very unpopular. It's obvious that the management at Arcane Austin was completely ignoring it. So it feels like Microsoft needs to say to Xbox, you know what? We need to go on a case-by-case basis with these Bethesda studios. You need to find which ones work well, like id Software and Machine Games. Leave them alone. But the ones that are having issues where the management isn't listening or he's not basically paying attention to the temperature, as you'd say, taking the temperature of the room.
I don't even think it's fair to say that, because it sounds like this was all going on before Microsoft even announced the acquisition. Like, when did they buy ZeniMax? It wasn't. It was after 2018. So this game was already in development and then already in the planning stages when Microsoft picked it up. I'm guessing they just bought them up and just left them to their own devices. And
they didn't change the management either. They didn't change the management.
Maybe they didn't think they needed to change the management, though, because they literally bought them up and said, look, you continue to do what you're doing. It's not an issue. Put out the game you want to put out. And I think that a lot of this Redfall controversy lands on Bethesda and not Microsoft.
Well, but Microsoft owns Bethesda, so now they need to say, hey, what the hell are you guys doing? We need to evaluate all your projects because according to the debacle with Redfall, it's apparent that not every one of your studios is running efficiently.
Yeah, I bet they changed the management now.
Yeah, probably. And you know what? I kind of feel bad. I know everyone looks at Phil Spencer and they're kind of like, hey, you know what? He's the bad guy. Let's point it at him. But ultimately, I mean, you can see within the past 5 years, he's aged 15 years. You can see it on his face. He's tired. He's probably in meetings all day long about this stuff, and especially with ABK. So having Redfall on top of that, I mean, it's probably stressing him out. And you could see in that podcast that he was in that people were like, hey, you know what? What's going on? And he spoke, just spoke open about it, you know?
Drawn TJ with a $5 donation. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it. Cheers for the donation. That really does help us out.
Thank you, Drawn TJ.
Thank you.
Sorry, Sentinel, what were you saying? Yeah, he has aged like a president. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just, you know what, and it's unfortunate because it's kind of like when you're the boss at the top, you make more money, but you also got to deal with all that stress. But again, I keep going back to like, you look at like ABK. And you have all this toxic leadership in Activision and Blizzard, and you're like, okay, so hopefully you guys learned your lesson with Bethesda and Redfall, so that when ABK comes in, you guys don't leave the same management in place. It's like, I feel like that's something they didn't consider beforehand. That when you acquire a studio, that's fine if you want to leave the workers in place, but you need to ask the workers, hey, what part of this management is working? Because if it was working so well, Microsoft never would have been able to purchase Bethesda because Bethesda was privately owned. They weren't publicly traded, and because they were failing so much, that's why they came up for sale. Because the owner who had the company, I guess ZeniMax, whatever it's called, they had them private. And it's like, if they weren't failing, they never would have been up for sale. But because they were failing, they're up for sale. So Microsoft should have gone in and said, hey, we're going to evaluate all of the leadership to make sure that what happened before doesn't happen again. That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
It feels like they almost went and put all hands on deck on Starfield. And then that's what left, the team over at Arcane kind of shorthanded to some extent. It's like, they got a little bit of help from id and a few other places for the gun mechanics and things like that, but they were like I hate to put it this way, but they were kind of like the redheaded stepchild in the corner compared to Starfield, the newborn baby that deserves gets all the attention and all the goodies, all the toys and whatnot. So it definitely they tripped up as far as the start of this, but it's one of those things where at least if someone already made the command decision, all right, cancel the PlayStation 5 version because they don't have a contract, much like unlike the one for Deathloop or Ghostwire, they should have been like, all right, here's some of the stuff that we expect, like 60 frames, whatever, and it needs to be optimized for let's say the series consoles. They should have had at least some resources allocated to that. But then again, Microsoft being this huge company, sometimes, even though things seem so simple to us right here and there, in the grand scheme of things, it might have required like 23 request forms and none of them got sent to the proper divisions or something.
Right.
It sometimes kind of works out that way.
Sorry for interrupting. I just realized I didn't actually read out Drawn TJ's super chat. He puts high panel, high chat. The deal will be done by July. Keep up the amazing content, guys. Hopefully the deal will be done by July, but we'll just have to wait and see. And
he's just dropped another super chat as well.
Oh shit, Jesus Christ!
There you go. It's somewhere.
Drawn TJ with another super chat saying Sony has no games and they got first party problems. What's going on with Sony? That is interesting discussion. I think Sony has become very complacent in recent years, especially since Jim Ryan's taken over. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But sorry, carry on.
Oh no, I'm sorry for interrupting you guys and breaking the flow, but
no, it's all good. It's all good.
I think as far as the Redfall thing, I hope they've learned from not only the fan base feedback, but just the critiques and things like that from the gaming's media and stuff along those lines, to the point where hopefully we never have this issue again, much like we never have another 2022 kind of issue, at least on the higher end of the spectrum of AAA stuff for first party. But hopefully this will be a lesson learned, and considering, like I said, all the resources probably went to Starfield, hopefully Starfield will be that shining beacon to show, okay, this is the Microsoft approach moving forward. With at least with ZeniMax and any of the what do you call them, Bethesda studios and things along those lines. I already think they already have that kind of in control for the first party stuff as far as Xbox first party studios, because they've already bought some of them new studios and given them new equipment, allowed new hires, even though there were hiring freezes at Microsoft as a whole. Some of those other studios, unfortunately not 343, but some of the other studios were able to bring on new talent and get things kind of wrapped up for whatever they're cooking up right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Muppet with a super chat. Even in ball bags, Jim has lost the plot. Hashtag Freddos. Cheers for the donation, dude. We always appreciate it. Much love, Muppet. Honestly, I think when they bought Bethesda, they saw Starfield and they were like, right, we've got our next gen Elder Scrolls. So I think, honestly, I agree. I think all the time and effort went into that to make sure that game is going to be the next big hit. But honestly, I don't understand why Arcane wouldn't reach out and say, look, we need more fucking resources, we need more help, because this is sinking fast. It's bizarre, I think.
No, there was probably something internally. They probably saw that the priority was Starfield and they were like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of not sit this one out, but keep our heads down and kind of work with what we got, because it looks like that's all we're going to get, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder though if Redfall would have done well if we would have heard any of this negative news about it.
Probably not, unless there was somebody released from the team that still was a little bit disgruntled. Like if that thing landed and hit, we'd probably be hearing about, hey, when's the next season? This content coming out? Just the trivial things at that point. And the story would have been like, Schreier would have been kicking somebody or kicking a puppy somewhere and balling up paper because he didn't get the scoop on a bad Xbox story. So
they still have more content coming though, right? Because people that paid like for the extra content, the upgrade or whatever. So there's something coming, but God knows what it is.
In theory, there's stuff coming from Redfall until they say, hey, you know what? We're just going to scrap it all and give you guys your money back.
Get your money back.
Right?
I just want the 60 FPS patch. Yeah. That's all I want. That's the only reason why I didn't really get into it. Because honestly, 30 FPS on that game, especially when coming from Dead Island 2, which in my opinion was fucking perfect. Going from Dead Island 2 to Redfall was so fucking jarring. It was painful. Yeah. I mean, I put like gameplay of what I was experiencing up on the Discord, and the amount of input lag on the controller was fucking horrendous, and there was nothing you could do to change it either.
Yeah, I actually went from because you had been talking about Dead Island 2, so I picked it up as well. 60 frames per second, smooth. Dam busters hit their stride, and for sure. going from that game to Redfall, where it's 30 frames per second, it's like until I got used to it. Probably for the first half hour to 45 minutes, it was making me sick to my stomach, kind of like the motion sickness thing. And I was like, what the hell? But once I got used to it, I kind of tapered off. But it was just, you could tell there was a noticeable difference. And I know some people are like, 30 frames per second is fine. And I'm like, it's fine if that's all you play. But if you're going back and forth between 60 frames per second, like Call of Duty or Forza, and you're going back to something that's 30 frames per second, you're going to notice the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I will never understand how people can say I don't know there's a difference between 30 and 60 FPS. It just blows my fucking mind, because I'm blind as shit. I'm actually legally blind as shit, and even I can fucking see the difference between 30 and 60 frames a second. It's just crazy to me. It's just, I find 30 so jarring now, and people are like, oh well, 30 FPS isn't that bad. It shouldn't be the fucking standard. 60 FPS should be the gold standard. 30 FPS is just what we got used to on the last consoles because they couldn't handle it. Anyway, I'll tell you what, before we go on, I want to just, because chat is on fire tonight, I'm just going to throw that out there. We've got some good people here. We've got Fimber. We have got Wandering Dutch dropped by to say hello. We've got Back from the Dead, Psychonauts, Kieran, 717's here. We have got Infinite Umbra. We've got Luke Steele. We've got Crispy Bomb. We've got Sappho has joined. Sappho? I'm going to say Sappho has joined us. We've got The Blue one is here. Drawn TJ. Drawn TJ. with the 2 super chats. I'll tell you what, guys, thank you ever so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. It's always great when chat's on fire, so let's keep that ball rolling. Should we move on to another topic?
Yeah.
Cool. So Xbox has got everybody excited this week with a teaser for what we believe may be Fable. Now, Sentinel doesn't want to believe it's Fable because he likes to piss on everyone's parade. It's definitely Fable.
No, you know what, though? I do want to believe it's Fable, and there was a guy from Xbox era who was being a dick to people, and I called him out, and I said, hey, he said, you guys need to stop running with this. Oh, and I said, hey, man, I said, it's just because Xbox is playing it close to the chest. People are running with it. I said, don't be a dick, and he's like, I'm not being a dick, and it's like, I'm thinking to myself, dude, if you were in front of me, I'd punch you in the fucking face. I mean, it's like, dude, you're being a dick. It's like you could be standing in a room with 100 people that don't know you, and they'd be like, yeah, guy, you're being a dick. I mean, that's it. There's no. It's like it's undisputed. This guy's being a dick, and he's like, I'm not being a dick, and I'm like, okay, guy, whatever. Just chill out. It was ridiculous.
It's definitely Fable.
I think it's Fable too. Everybody is saying it's Fable, and I'm like, you know what? It's got to be Fable.
Yeah,
I mean, there were breakdowns out there, listening to the music, the glitter. I mean, if it's not Fable, it better be something along the lines of Fable, like a Fable collection or something. But I think at this point, I won't say it's pretty safe to say, but yeah, there will be something explaining to do come Monday morning if it ain't Fable.
I'll tell you what though, that's 2 games that they've teased now, because they teased Psychonauts 3, didn't they? And they've teased Fable. So I mean, Psychonauts 2 was a massive hit. Yeah. So if it is Fable and Psychonauts 3 that they're teasing, we're in for a fucking doozy next week.
As long as it happens before ABK takes over and they're not like, hey, it's actually Fable for mobile. Don't you guys have phones, right? It's like, oh, Jesus, don't do that shit to us. Come on.
That's Ubisoft with Sam Fisher and Ghost Recon. Not Ghost Recon. Splinter Cell.
yeah, they're teasing Splinter Cell, and then it just turns out they're coming out with Splinter Cell like T-shirts and gloves and hats and stuff, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Apparently Ubisoft is doing a showcase of their own in June. I'm going to call it now. We're getting a Just Dance with Sam Fisher as a playable character.
Probably.
I think that's the only place he hasn't been in an Ubisoft game, so you're probably right on that one.
It kind of feels like, they're like, what's the most stupid thing we could possibly do with Sam Fisher other than put him in a game? And they put all these ideas up, and they're like, yep, that's the stupidest one. Let's go with that. That feels like what Ubisoft has been doing. It's like, come on, guys. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. No, but man, that teaser that they did for Fable, fingers crossed, come June 11th, we all get our faces melted seeing, some of the highlights of either be CGI or gameplay, whatever the case may be. Just hearing from someone that kind of worked on some of the stuff behind the scenes as far as that game, it's going to be a looker. And all you have to do is look at like Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5 as far as the level of detail in their worlds. I'm pretty sure you'll see.
Do we know what engine they're using for the Fable game yet?
I do, but I've been sworn to secrecy on it.
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
not
that's
Unreal.
Yeah,
let's just put it this way: it's not Unreal.
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up, obviously, is because when when BioWare had to make Anthem, they didn't want to have to use the DICE engine.
Right.
It's not called the DICE. It's called Frostbite. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And, that's great for Battlefield, but that wasn't great for Anthem, being a huge open world game. And I remember it caused them issues. And it kind of feels like even if you have a phenomenal team, if they don't have the proper engine for the game they're trying to make, then it's going to cause issues. That's the reason why I brought it up, because I know the engine they have for Forza is great for racing games, but you got to wonder if it's going to work with the type of game they're trying to make with Fable.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be gorgeous.
Yeah. Playground Games is very talented, very talented.
Very.
Yeah.
I think this will be a good test for them, because everybody does have them like marketed as the Forza guys or the Forza Horizon guys. I think if they can come out and deliver on Fable, I think it's just going to elevate their status even higher as being one of Xbox's best studios.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is that Fable will wind up resonating so well amongst fans that Forza Horizon gets put on the shelf kind of thing, almost like a Project Gotham Racing. That's my only fear.
It's not going to happen, dude. That's not going to happen. You know.
I don't think it would be, but if it did, I wouldn't mind if it's like a year or so, because like we've had 5 of them now, so it's not. And we've got Motorsport coming as well. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we're going to be short of a racing game.
Forza Motorsport. Oh, Jesus.
I know. I can't wait now, man. I'm so excited.
I love Forza Motorsport.
That's one thing we are going to have to stream on the channel. Me and you going head to head.
Right?
I'm going to be ramming you into fucking walls. Off the car races. Let's go.
I'm sure. Yep.
Hey, Rubbin's Racing. At least in NASCAR.
Right.
I've heard that used in other terms as well too, but you know. Pause. Anyway, but yeah, you know, this game is going to be amazing. It's absolutely going to be off the chains how good it looks. I mean, we've heard, you know, from a lot of the upper management that they're ready to show the game off. So we know if they're ready to show it off this bad, it's got to look good. And I have a feeling it's going to look phenomenal. Now, what we actually get at the levels we get, you know, are we going to see gameplay? Probably not. Are we going to see maybe a more concept-oriented, you know, not necessarily a CG, but, you know, maybe in-game engine, you know, assets used to kind of give you setup to let the people know really how it's going to work. Maybe some stuff in the town, maybe some battles, some fights. Maybe some of the humor, just a little bit of the tease of the humor. I wouldn't expect to be like, you know, okay, here's the playable build and let's take a look. You know, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, they're probably pretty close to being where they want to be. But I mean, like I said, if they're this excited, even, you know, Phil's like, you know, I can't wait for y'all to see what we've got coming. It's going to be something really good. But I just don't think we're going to get as much as I think we're really going to be left wanting a lot more. But that's okay.
With that.
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
I just want to see anything at this point. Well, it got announced in 2020, so I feel like we just need anything, even if it's just like a CGI trailer or just, you know, even if I'll take anything at this point. I just need I need some more Fable. Drawn TG with another super chat. Thank you ever so much. Saying they're using the new Forza Motorsport game engine. We need to see gameplay as State of Decay 3. It's been 5 years in development. I think we will see some State of Decay this year. I've got a good feeling about it.
You know what? It's like State of Decay 3 is one of those games that I really want to see. That's like in my top 3, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they recently did some more hires as far as for environmental lighting and things along those lines. So I think it might be a little early as far as announcing any release date, but I think we'll see some sort of like in-engine thing for that one as well.
Hopefully it releases in better state than State of Decay 2 was. That was rough at launch because I pre-ordered it and it was rough. You had people falling through the map and all kinds of shit. I was like, are you serious?
State of Decay is one of those games that if they had enough time and they threw enough money at it, it could be a game changer. Do you know what I mean? The first one was fantastic. Second one was great.
Yeah.
But they could really push the envelope on that game if they just threw a lot more money at it, I think.
Well, they've definitely been supporting State of Decay 2 a lot longer than I expected. Like, I figured maybe a year, 2 years after, and that'd be it. I think we still get stuff even to this day. Their most recent update, I think, was like less than a month ago or something. So it's amazing if they can, you know, I guess in Unreal Engine 5 is what they're targeting. So we'll see how that works out. But I think that might be a 2025, 2026 game.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or anything like that, but I think Fable's probably 2025, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's like a late 2024 kind of game.
You know, it's like the one thing you can't really say negatively about Xbox is that they don't support their games after release. True. Because, you know, you got Minecraft, you got Sea of Thieves, you got State of Decay 2. They're all supported. You look at Halo Infinite, even though it had problems, they still continued to support it. You know, that's one thing that I think Xbox is doing right, and you hope that these upcoming games, that they already have a plan in place to support those as well, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But I really hope we get Fable. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Fable because, like, even the music in the video is like it's not exactly the Bower Stone.
Sounds a lot like it though,
but it's a lot like it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and you know, like, how many of these games that are sequels or reboots or whatever have music that's similar to earlier games in the franchise, but they're tweaked a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that could I mean, this could be music from the reboot that they already have, you know, made, and they want to show it off, kind of give a little teaser. I know some people are like, well, it's not 100% exactly like it, but it's so similar. A lot of people are convinced it's actually from one of the previous games.
Yeah. It knowing Xbox, they probably intentionally did all of these things, just knowing how we'll dissect the teaser and stuff. So that I'm pretty sure that's probably the new music that's like a updated tempo version of the old music kind of deal, where, you know, it'll have a slight change, but then maybe as your character becomes more evil, it changes even further, kind of thing, or something along those lines.
You mean more fuzzy, don't you mean?
So what else do you guys think we'll see at the Xbox Showcase?
Yeah, definitely. I'm 90% sure, yeah.
You know what? I feel like they want to show off something regarding Contraband. I'm not sure, though, because Contraband is kind of like one of those... I don't know if it's necessarily a co-op game, but we know it's multiplayer. I don't really know if it has a campaign, but I feel like they want to show off some type of trailer to give people a better idea, because that's something I've seen. You know, I feel it that, hey, I want to know if this game has a campaign. I've seen other people mention it as well. If it's just online, that's fine, because Xbox is known for great multiplayer games, you know. But if it does have a campaign, that's great also. I really feel like we're going to see something about Contraband this year.
I really hope so. It's made by the same guys that made Mad Max, isn't it? Avalanche.
Yeah.
Nice. That game was so underrated. Drawn TG with another super chat. Dude, thank you ever so much. We need to see gameplay of all the games that were announced in 2018. It's been 5 years or more. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, agreed. At least something.
Yeah. I want to hear about Perfect Dark. I want to hear about Avowed. I want to hear about Fable. Yeah, we need something. Do you know what I mean? This is the one thing that Xbox keeps getting wrong, is they come out, they'll show off CGI trailers of games that are like 5 years out. I want to see shit that's coming now. Do you know what I mean? That's coming within this year or next year. I don't want to see games that are like half a decade out. I mean, fuck, I could go and get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't know. I want to see the games that are coming this year.
Think positive. That's good.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I think they showed those 5 years out type of deal just at the beginning of the console generation to kind of get those that may not have already been in the Xbox ecosystem kind of like, this is what you can expect, you know, down the road kind of deal, drawing some people in, because a lot of people, there hasn't been a playable Fable or at least a new Fable during the Xbox One generation. Didn't they kill the Kinect one that they were going to wind up doing or something like that? So, you know, showing Fable, showing a Perfect Dark, an IP that they own, you know, kind of bringing it back to life type of thing. Everwild was another strange one, but that one is kind of going through like a soft reboot to some extent. But
and then
telling me we'll see some of those, at least some sort of update, even if it's maybe a in-engine type of thing, or, you know, fingers crossed for some gameplay. But in-engine at this point would be at least, you know, satisfactory at that point.
Well, we got to see something on what is it? Everwild, right?
Yeah.
Because the rare developers were saying, someone came out and actually said, hey, we don't really know what type of game this is, and it's like, oh my god, that's not the thing you need to hear from the people that are supposed to be building this game right now. It's like, you need to know what type of game you're making, you know? So hearing that, I was already concerned. So a lot of people are already concerned about this. If they have progress, if they're making progress, if they finally figured out what the hell they're doing, they need to show people this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. We talked about it on the show last week, didn't we?
I believe so.
That PlayStation showcase was the best thing that could have happened to Xbox, I think, because after the Redfall shit show, when that game launched, everybody said, well, they need to deliver with Starfield. And then PlayStation had that disastrous showcase where Xbox capitalized in a massive way by showing that most of those games are coming to Xbox. So they've regained a lot of ground. I think going into the showcase, they need to come out and just fucking blow everybody away. I think just show off what you're working on. I don't want to see them holding back titles to show off later in the year. I want to see them come out and go, boom, this is what's coming for the next year, and I'll be happy.
You know, I think Phil was already ready for that because of Redfall, because he said, "Hey, you know what? We lost some face with this release, and it looks really bad on us. So the Xbox showcase, we need to come out, you know, with both barrels firing, and we need to completely dominate them." So even before PlayStation dropped the ball for the most part, Xbox was already coming in. So PlayStation had a huge showcase, hasn't had one in like 2 years, and yeah, and so they dropped the ball with that. They showed almost all of the games they showed were either games as a service or multi-platform. Pissed everyone off. Yeah, they got Spider-Man 2, but we already knew about that. So all this stuff that PlayStation showed off didn't wow anyone, and a lot of people felt it was a C or D event. Some people felt it was an F event. So Xbox is coming into this, and they were already, in my opinion, I think they were already ready to completely wow everyone, and it's going to be even worse now for PlayStation, now that they dropped the ball. It's going to be crazy. So, you know, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a fucking doozy, I think.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Wandering Dutch said, they always show off at least, 10 to 15 first-party games at each showcase. So...
And that's not even to mention any Game Pass Day 1 drops of third-party titles.
Yeah.
Like Sniper Elite 5, I think that was this year, right, that it dropped? Day 1 on Game Pass.
Was it this year or was it last year?
It might have been last year, but
it might have been last year, yeah.
But that was a nice one. I mean, Outriders was one of the first ones to kind of sneak in. That they did that with.
I think the stealth drop of Hi-Fi Rush was so good that they'll want to do that again.
You know, and they the whole thing around GoldenEye, I know some people were like, well, it's not the version we wanted, but wasn't that a shadow drop also?
Yeah, it was like play today, it's downloadable now type of thing.
Yeah,
I mean, some people kind of knew it was coming, but there was no announced official date or something like that.
Didn't they do
play now, download now?
Didn't they do that with Quake 1 also?
I think so. When shortly after the ZeniMax stuff, I think they did that as well.
So I think, and this is just speculation on my part, but I think we're going to get those 10 to 15 that Dutch is talking about. We're also going to get 1 or 2 shadow drops, and I think they're also going to talk about, hey, here are the games coming to Game Pass that we haven't told you about, and half of them are multi-plat, and it's a day 1. That's, in my opinion, I think that's what they're going to do.
I reckon we'll get a you can play it now, like as the show's going live as well. I think they'll just drop it on the show and say this is what you can play now.
I know not everyone's a fan of Quake 2, but I would love to see Quake 2 get shadow dropped. That would be nice.
I would love to see a new Quake.
Quake reboot, yes. Yeah, I'd love to see Quake reboot. Yep.
I really want to see ID software put out a new Quake or a new Rage or a new Wolfenstein, just fucking anything. That they have one of the best engines at Xbox. I want to see them being put to work.
Agreed. I think now is the time because we've had a Doom reboot, did well. We had a Wolfenstein reboot that did well. Yeah. Quake is next. Quake is next, and they need to show it off.
I want to see a fucking Quake versus Doom versus Unreal Tournament.
Oh, Jesus. That would be crazy.
Together and just have a massive arena fucking game.
That would be crazy. I would love that.
Master Queef in there as well. That'd be great.
Wow. Oh,
everybody knows Doomslayer's killing Master Chief.
Oh, yeah. He would kill him. Yeah, definitely.
He is the fucking Doomslayer.
if we're talking about like showcase predictions for a shadow drop, I still believe we get either the demo or full-on motorsport at the showcase. Like it's playable now.
Hell yes.
Although, but I think it's the demo because that'll give you time to play the demo up until that Friday or something for the Forza Monthly. Then either they'll give you the full on, hey, you can pre-download the full game, but I think we either get like a date and a demo or maybe even the game to play right then and there kind of thing. Like, hey, if you have Game Pass Ultimate today, you can play, Forza Motorsport right now. Just go ahead and download it.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of them, but I think we might get another special one mixed in there as well.
You know what? I think they're going to show off the Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds too, because the last event they said, hey, all we have is a trailer right now, and it's kind of a joke, they they joke about it, but I think at this event you're at least going to have more information about the Outer Worlds 2, because that was a surprise hit. And yes, the last one was multi-platform, but I want to believe that this one is going to be Xbox ecosystem exclusive.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it will be based on the language they've been saying, because it's not the previous publisher that has the rights. Since Microsoft owns, the IP and the publishing and all that stuff, it'll probably be Xbox platform exclusive, or Xbox and PC, because you'll probably see it on Steam as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drawn TJ with another super chat. Making it rain. I want a new mech salt. Yeah, that would be good. I'd be up for that.
I think we get Armored Core 6 has our day and date. And we may not get a Mech Assault just yet. That might take some time, and I don't know who the studio would be on that one. The studio I would like to see do it, people are going to want them to stick to Gears right now. So, I think we'll see Armored Core 6 or something, possibly.
I got a question for you guys, right? I got a question. If you could have Xbox come out and announce any game, what would you have them come out and announce? Like your dream game come out?
Marvel Snap. No, I'm just playing.
I was getting excited then.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ones. I know Drawn TJ will know this one. Like almost like a Forza World, like a blend between Motorsport and Horizon. Think of it like where, let's say you have Motorsport's already out there, people have been playing it, but let's say Horizon is now in Japan, and it's got the Misagi. I forget the track. It's not Nagasaki, but there's like 2 tracks in Japan that if you have Horizon in Japan, and it would be centered around those 2 tracks. So all of the countryside and city area in between those tracks would be part of the new Horizon, where you still have access to those tracks. If you want to just do the motorsport aspect to it, you drive to the track, or you can fast travel to the track and do the racing there. And then when you want to do the Horizon stuff, like race on the highways in Japan at night, you could switch over to that.
That'd be sick.
And then each Horizon after that would be centered around where there's real racetracks, and the city surrounding it would be the new Horizon location.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I'll tell you what I would love to see, right? Fucking now that the planets can align again, I want to see them come out and announce Fallout New Vegas 2. It could happen now. Obsidian are back under the wing. So is Bethesda.
Yeah.
Like, now's the time it could happen.
I think that would be great.
That's the Fallout franchise. Even NXL is previous. Weren't they the original ones doing Fallout or something?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, they got the trifecta going.
Yes.
Now's the time.
Damn, so you would have Fallout 5, you'd have Fallout New Vegas 2, you got the Outer Worlds 2, which people say it leans on the Fallout feel. Oh, that would be crazy. Nice.
Yeah. I
What
can't
about
wait
you,
for
Dave?
Fallout.
God, there's so many things you would love. You just open slate, whatever you want. I would probably like a high res, built from the ground up, Killer Instinct. I mean, literally rebuilt, to look as good as the new Street Fighter or whatever, but just high end 4K graphics.
Would you prefer like a photorealistic look to the game, or would you want it to have an animated style like Street Fighter?
I wouldn't mind it. Well, if it's animated a style, that would be okay, as long as it's like 60 frames. I mean, I love the last Killer Instinct, but it's like it looks like you're playing at like 12 frames. Yeah, it's like it's like, oh, like Christ, man, it's horrible compared to some of the modern day fighters. It just really needs to be either 60 or 120 frames per second and look absolutely crystal clear. That's what I want.
Yeah,
nice.
That would be awesome.
I would probably ask for the same thing. I'd probably talk about every week or every other week. Either Dread or the Punisher made by the Coalition. It's like the way the Punisher would be is kind of like, and I'd love to see it like this. Like there's the Punisher basically takes, it's I don't want to say it's structured like Uncharted 4 where it has larger open areas, but there would be different ways you can take out bad guys. You can capture a bad guy, take him back to your lair for interrogation and stuff. You'd have the different torture mechanics like you had in the Punisher game for the PS2. But you could basically have new missions added every single season, but it would be single-player focused. You know, you're not playing with a team of Punishers. It's the Punisher. And you're playing as him, and your job is to dismantle crime syndicates and stuff like that. I mean, and Coalition has shown that they'd be capable of making a game like that. If they did a Dredd game, because there's multiple judges, it's not just Judge Dredd. You could have a team of 4, and basically you have like a Mega City 1, but there's like dozens of mega cities where you have to go through you have to go into the area. You basically have to fight your way to the huge apartment building. And then once you get in, you have to take it level by level. And each level is kind of like conquering an area, like in Far Cry. You know how you conquer an area and like the clouds would clear up or whatever. Once you conquer an area in Mega City 1, like the first level, the second level, the third level, you have access to certain resources like a judge medic, and you can upgrade your guns and all that other stuff. And the higher you get, the more you can upgrade your guns to where they're just ridiculously overpowered. I think that would be great to see someone like the Coalition put that together.
Yeah. I would even welcome a Daredevil game. If you had
that would be cool.
A Daredevil game with like Assassin's Creed Unity parkour, and fucking, I'm sold.
Yeah. Who would you have make that though? Out of the studios they own right now, who would you have make that?
Jesus, I don't know. Probably the Coalition.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I think Ninja Theory could pull it off, like what they've done with Devil May Cry when they did theirs. Even though a lot of people didn't necessarily like it as much as the traditional Devil May Cries.
Yeah.
And then some of the mechanics they had in Bleeding Edge, as far as traversal and things like that.
What about?
It would be a decent one.
What about Enslaved Odyssey to the West? They put that out as well.
What a fucking game that was.
And you remember how it relied on some gymnastic moves to get up to higher levels and stuff? I kind of feel like they could rely on some of that stuff to incorporate into the Daredevil thing because, he relies on his hearing, but he's also very agile. And that's one of his advantages in combat, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All of those would be awesome ideas. Although we got to get this in a note to Phil or a note to Matt Booty or something like that to get one of the teams on it type of thing.
That would be great. Definitely. BMG, what are your thoughts? What type of game if you could have any game made by Xbox, what would be your pick?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably.
No, that's on the PlayStation side.
Spider-Man in Destiny armor.
Oh, God. Jeez, where's the Kleenex?
Wow.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to get seeing at the show. We're going to see Indiana Jones. Film drops at the end of this month, and I'm dying to see what that game is. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan.
That's
Love
a good
that.
point, actually. You just hit the fucking nail on the head. I mean, that could happen. That could be like a tie-in.
Yeah, I don't think it'll come out. I don't think it's ready to come out. But if you've got the film coming out, I think it's 30th of June. You want to start showing that off or showing get some hype for it because there's the film. It's like people are talking Indiana Jones, trending on Twitter. So I'm excited for that. Did we ever see, and I can't remember if there was or wasn't, the exclusive IOI game, interactive game that Xbox was doing with them? Did we actually get a reveal of that, or do we not still know what that is?
I remember.
No.
Yeah, because Jez Corden leaked that there was that game. Was it Project Dragon? Project Dragon. That's what they were.
Oh, you mean Scalebound?
No. Project Dragon.
I think that was IO Interactive or something.
Yeah, that's the exclusive. They're making an exclusive for Xbox, aren't they? Project Dragon, which is being made by IO Interactive. And that was what? God, that was summer last year. That was Jez leaked that. So there's a really good chance we're gonna see that. If I could have any game for Xbox to make for me, and it's gonna have to be Superman. I need a Superman game. I love Superman Returns because I love Superman games.
Superman is the most boring superhero imaginable. He's fucking Superman.
Well, Superman's awesome. I love Superman. But if I can't have a Superman game, it would have to be a Deadpool game.
You know what? It's like if you take away Superman's powers, I mean, he's going to get his ass kicked by Girl Scouts. That's it. No way around it, because every time Superman loses his powers, Batman beats the hell out of him like he caught him stealing money. You know, every single time. Superman can't fight. It's like, okay, you need to wear a kryptonite necklace, and you need to go down to the karate dojo down the block and learn how to fight, because you suck without your superpowers.
I hope Superman comes and lasers your ass.
Superman
condom just so we can skull fuck him.
Superman is royalty.
Superman ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna grab him by his cape and stuff him under the lawnmower.
Drawn TJ with another super chat. Hey, since they have ABK, make a Deadpool game with the Punisher. ABK owns the rights to Deadpool. Yeah, I would tell you what, I would love to see another Deadpool game.
Yeah,
I absolutely had a blast with the 360 one.
I never knew Activision still owned the rights. Did they not revert back to Marvel? I thought they reverted back to them years ago.
You know what though? With Deadpool. Yeah, Deadpool. With him being so closely tied to Wolverine, you know what? I kind of feel like they might try to incorporate him in some way into the Insomniac Marvel universe. That's kind of what it feels like. Yeah. So I don't know if Xbox could land it. I really don't.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, Superman's just, I don't know. He's not good for a video game. He's the most boring fucking superhero.
Well, he's like that dish, that food that has no seasoning whatsoever. There's nothing to it. It's bland.
He's like, my hopes and dreams. I want a Superman game.
He's like, oh, what can possibly beat Superman? Oh, kryptonite. Hello, kryptonite. Oh, he's overcome the kryptonite. Well done, Superman. Like, that is basically Superman. Everything else he goes against is like, well, yep, Superman's gonna fucking win that fight, and then, he's just so boring.
You know what? And it's always the same shit that topples Superman. It's never new stuff. It's always the same stuff, and Superman's always getting pummeled. And it's like, come on, man, you got to learn from your things, you know.
Tell you what, man, he's lucky that his mum was called Martha.
Right? I know. Yep.
There we go. Nobody owns the Deadpool license anymore. It reverted back to Marvel years ago. So yes, so you never know. It's a possibility. But yeah, I just think they're sort of missing that superhero.
No, you know what?
Well, they could. Hang on, they could. So maybe they could make a deal with EA.
Superman in chat.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yay! You know what? You know what game they need to make? They need to make E3 All Stars, where you have like Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer and all of them just duking it out on the E3 stage while people watch and throw popcorn and shit at them. That's what they need.
Man.
I would buy that.
I want a Phil Spencer versus Jim Ryan in Celebrity Deathmatch
with Sean Layden with the Reggie guy from Nintendo as the referee. Yeah,
that'd be great.
That's funny.
I'll tell you what, we haven't actually touched on any of our topics tonight yet, so I think we should get into some of those.
Right.
Let's see if we can pick out some doozies. Okay, so Microsoft's appeal against the CMA is to be heard in July. I mean, everybody probably already knows that. Everybody's fucking covering that story. So, yeah, they go to court in July. They're expecting the whole thing to be over by August, isn't it? Before the FTC goes, I don't fucking know anymore. I've stopped paying attention.
No, they asked if it could be done by 22nd of July, because otherwise haven't they got to go back to Activision to then work out a new deal to see if they can extend the deadline of the agreement, because that's when that comes to an end. But whether that, I'm assuming they would come to an agreement anyway. But I think it was CMA want to try and drag it out to like October, November time, but hey,
I'll tell you what, I'm done with it now. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I was enjoying it for a while because it was like gaming soap opera, and now I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I'm done with it. Just don't care anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Same here.
It seems like Microsoft is now kind of posturing like they might just pull out the UK and be done with it. I wouldn't blame them.
Honestly, I wouldn't blame them. Like, the UK is a shit show, and it has been for the last 13 years. It's just an embarrassment. Ever since we pulled out of Europe, and now Europe is still making us look fucking stupid. because they've just approved it. And we're here like, no, it's not good for consumers. Fuck off, UK. I mean, I live here and I'm sick of the fucking country. Fucking hate it. I really do. That's the thing. If there was ever anyone that was going to fuck it up, it was going to be us. Because that's what we do. We fuck up everything.
Well, I still kind of blame the FTC for being the birdie in your regulator's ears kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although
There's
least
definite collusion.
But it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. The FTC kind of knew they didn't really stand as good of a chance against Microsoft lawyers, so they found a buddy to kind of do their dirty work and was like, hey, throw a monkey wrench in this, block the deal, and buy us some time or something.
Absolutely agree. I honestly think that's how it's going to go. But we've got our borders and laws back, Redders. God save the Queen. Yeah. Even she fucking checked out eventually, didn't she? She had enough. She's like, I'm fucking out of this shit. And now we've got a fucking king again. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, our poor NHS. Sorry, I was reading the comment.
Yeah, hopefully before they have to renegotiate the deal, something comes to a head. It seems like the judge in the whole deal against the CMA lawyers is kind of like, I'm done with this. Like, I read this thing twice. Let's get this over with. What? Oh, your lawyer's on vacation, or what? What's going on?
I'll tell you what I found quite funny is that the CMA gave Microsoft 4 weeks to plan their defense, and now they're complaining because they haven't got enough time to plan their defense in 4 weeks. They want more time. It's like, well, hang about. How the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, it is getting quite silly, isn't it? It's almost like, let's see how stupid we can make the UK look before they buckle and give in. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, and the whole thing now that Microsoft is wanting to, you said Microsoft is wanting to skip the UK or cut them out of the.
Yeah, they're on about pulling out.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's going to suck. That's going to suck.
They're kind of talking about it. They haven't said they'll do it just yet, but that, what's his name? Satya was saying, let things play out. We'll see how it goes, type of thing. But
yeah, it was very like there was definitely a tone there, wasn't it? Like, let's see what happens. Like, fuck with us, and we'll fuck with you, kind of mentality going on there. I think.
Yeah, the biggest issue I think with this whole deal is that it's like in the United States, there's kind of checks and balances to prevent one authority from just saying something and that's the way it goes. But it feels like the CMA, there's not really a way to overturn their stuff. I mean, yeah, you can go to the appeal stuff, but it feels like it's not balanced as much. And I mean, like a lot of us aren't really aware how the CMA works because we're in the United States. But like for it to happen in the United States, the FTC basically cannot do what the CMA is doing and get away with it because there's so much of a chance for them to get challenged in court and for them to say, hey, FTC kick rocks, for it just not to work.
Hasn't the FTC lost like the last 70% of its court cases?
Yes, and Lena Khan is in a lot of trouble because everyone's looking at her very suspiciously, so she's probably going to be fired. I
don't see how. I mean, we've said this before, but I don't see how the FTC can position themselves against this merger when they allowed Disney to buy up as much as they have.
I know Disney is crazy. Disney's buying up everything, and FTC doesn't care, but they care about this. I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's like Microsoft didn't even go to ABK. ABK came to them and said, "Hey, we want to be purchased." Yeah, it's like everyone forgets that. It's like, come on, man. Just
like
let
the
this shit
FTC
be done.
Suddenly gone, shit, we need to appear competent. Quick, let's block this.
Right. Hey, what did I say about the ABK deal last week? What did I say about it? And you retweeted it or whatever. You remember?
Yeah. I'll let you rehash that one.
I said this whole ABK deal. I said it's just like that shit in the toilet that you need to plunge and just get gone so you can have better deals come through like Ubisoft or EA or whoever. I said it's just the shit in the toilet. We don't care one way or the other. It's like just plunge that shit and get it gone. That's it.
We will hold
the line. Right? Oh, Jesus.
Amazing. But yeah, it's just fucking tedious at this point. Anyway, let's do another topic. So South Korea is the latest country to approve Microsoft's acquisition of ABK. Even fucking South Korea have got it right.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
That's 40 countries now.
I bet you won't get North Korea approve it. I don't think they got regulators. They're not allowed regulators.
I think North Korea would approve if you send him some food. Then he'd be like, "Yeah, that's fine. Let it through."
North Korea will approve if they're allowed to do another missile test.
I think they're on a certain list. Enables them not to be able to sell games.
Drawn TC with another super chat. The FTC missed the date to get the conjunction to block the deal. Now they will need a federal judge, so only the CMA is in the way. Oof. Yeah, I honestly feel like the FTC is pulling the CMA strings. That's how it feels. That's how it comes across, especially with like the rumored collusion, like going in.
Yeah.
Drawn TJ is on fire today, guys.
I know, man. He's making it rain today in the super chat.
Have to make him an honorary member.
We really do appreciate you, Drawn TJ. It does help us out.
He won the lottery. He's just not telling anybody. So hit him up after this on Twitter.
Right, we're going to knock out some of these shitter topics because they don't really need much. Sega announces a summer showcase event from Yakuza developer RRG Studios.
Nice.
Excellent.
Which is kind of cool. Over 40 publishers will participate in this year's Summer's Game Fest, which is fantastic. Nice. But unless we get fucking Jeff Keighley, like sucking off Kojima.
Wow.
Not going to be a good showcase.
Right.
That's what we tune in for every year, just that good old Hideo Kojima action.
Hey, the way it's going to be is he'll be on stage the whole time, like with his arms around Kojima's leg, and he'll be sitting down with the mic, and Kojima will be standing up waving to people. That's how it'll be.
Yeah. He'll just go up to Kojima and say,
"Insert cash or select payment type."
whatever we can.
Nice.
They'll probably show Death Stranding 2 and possibly Overdose. Those two Summer's Games Fest, considering their friendship, that those probably will get unveiled there.
Wouldn't you think maybe the Death Stranding 2 here and then Overdose? They probably, if they even teased it at all, that would probably be toward the award show at the end of the year.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Gets Kojima back on stage twice.
Fucking hell, I don't think he'd be able to control
make
himself, would he?
Right.
Jesus, like something on Pornhub.
Yeah. Jeff Keighley's got to put on his special brand of lipstick whenever Kojima's around. Yep.
One of these years, I expect Jeff Keighley to open the show in tears just to announce that Kojima's not there.
I know, right? Yeah.
He's going to change his relationship status to "it's complicated" with Hideo
Kojima. Right.
All right, that's another topic.
Hey, he'll start crying when Kojima says he's only making games for Xbox. He'll be like, "No, please, no, you're breaking my heart, baby."
Jesus.
Hey, we might see the Xbox game at the showcase Kojima's one. Didn't he get leaked online early this year?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have talked more about it from last year's game showcase, because I think it leaked as like just before the showcase in 2022. But I don't know. It's just weird that nobody's talking about Overdose or whatever that game was called, because it definitely didn't look like a Death Stranding 2. So
Shadow Drop.
Maybe we'll see
I doubt that. They're
Kojima's
gonna pump that
come on
out.
stage.
They are gonna advertise that thing to the hilts. Kojima
To be
on
fair.
Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Kojima could come out and take a dump on stage, and people will call it Game of the Year. So.
Hell
Right.
yeah!
I'd buy that game.
Organic Rocks.
He's going to come out holding hands with Todd Howard, and it turns out Starfield's actually a Kojima project.
Oh god, that'd be hilarious.
Right.
So apparently, The Witcher 3 has surpassed 50 million copies sold. That's awesome. Still one of the best open world games available, I think.
Nice.
So it's good to see that game still doing well.
Yeah.
You know when they release that remaster of the first one or remake, that it's gonna sell like gangbusters.
I don't think it will, because I just don't know, because it was a different kind of game, wasn't it? I don't think it was an open world. I think it was very linear.
Yeah, but they're redoing it so it's open world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think it'll
Milk
sell
it
pretty
for all
well.
it's worth. Let's go.
Might as well, right? See, it's like Cyberpunk didn't work out, so they got to rely on Witcher.
I'm
Cool,
still
I get
waiting
it.
for my fucking Henry Cavill skin for The Witcher 3. I'm so disappointed they didn't include that.
Right.
I've been banging. I'm gonna fuck this name up. I know it. Is it Daedalic? Isn't done with the Lords of the Ring universe, despite Gollum being shit. I actually wrote that as a topic.
They're busy making pachinko machines.
Despite Gollum being shit.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Makes Redfall look good.
It does. It's true. Worst game of the year.
Oh,
I don't get why we didn't get a Shadow of Mordor remake. A fucking Shadow of Mordor sequel, like another one.
yeah. After Shadow of War, yeah,
Yeah, that game was banging. The only thing I didn't like about that was the end game grind.
yeah.
What else have we got? New trailer for Silent Hill Ascension is revealed. It plays like a follow-along book. Is that right? Like a interactive movie.
Did you ever watch the Black Mirror on Netflix, where you actually got to make the choices, the decisions? So it was a film. It was a film for about, I think it was about an hour and 20 minutes. Black Mirror, something I can't remember the title and subtitle underneath. And essentially, so this film plays, and at certain points in the film, you make decisions what happens. So depending on the decisions you make is the bits of the different film that you see. I think like Quantum Break, where you make decisions in the game and it depends, and that's the bit of the TV show you see. So this is the same thing with Silent Hill. Maybe think. What was Supermassive did? The games where you make the choices and people can live or die depending what choices you make. Yeah. Like the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Think of that, but it's an actual TV series. So depending on the choices that you can actually make as the the show goes on, depends on the outcome what you get. But with Silent Hill, which I think is quite cool, we don't really see as much of this interactive TV media these days. It was kind of like a small thing a while ago and then just kind of went. But with an IP like Silent Hill and whatever the story is going to be, that you could decide who lives or dies depending on what option you pick. I think it could be really, really fun. And it's got the replayability of going back, watching it, making the other decisions to see the other outcome. So I'm actually quite excited for that.
Sounds a bit like Heavy Rain.
Yep.
Yeah. Same sort of thing.
Oh, that game was banging.
I loved Heavy Rain.
Really
Absolutely. I bought the was it the origami edition where you got all the little things with it. Brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant. I won't reveal who the serial killer is.
It's a fat guy, wasn't it?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Why? Why?
You haven't fucking played it after all this time. You're not about to go play it now, are you? Jesus fucking Christ! The game came out over a decade ago.
What are you talking about? Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the fat guy.
Y'all quit picking on me.
No, you're the nice fat guy. It's the other fat guy.
Oh, thanks. That got you any points.
Here's a topic that has just been announced on IGN. Activision Blizzard report shows 29 harassment incidents after Bobby Kotick denies no systemic issue.
Here comes the money. Here we go.
Exactly.
Bobby Kotick claimed the company did not have a systemic issue with misconduct against women.
Yeah, says the guy that threatened to kill one of his assistants.
even though there was 114 reports of harassment, discrimination, or retaliation filed by employees.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
If Flip Steel was in here, he'd tell you can't. You gotta be careful.
Investigators substantiated 29 of them, some of which involved multiple employees.
Yeah. Details.
I mean, it's allegedly until like all the females of the company get together and throw Bobby Kotick out of his 12th story office, throw him out the window, and then I'm like, well, I guess it's not allegedly anymore.
To be fair, that's like one of the main reasons why I want this ABK deal to go through.
Same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll get his golden parachute and he'll be on his way.
I mean, as far as a lot of us are concerned, though, he can take that golden parachute and cram it up his ass, and that's fine as long as he's gone.
I just hope someone cuts a fucking hole in it.
Right, yeah. It's unfortunate. All the shit those female employees had to go through under his management, and all the people that were toxic and hostile towards them. The one female took her own life. It's tragic. It's like, that's why this ABK deal needs to go through, because if Microsoft does not take over this company, same shit's going to continue. If they take over this company, I guarantee the first thing they're going to do is go through and replace all the toxic management. I guarantee it.
You know what's really sad though is that those kind of incidents, a lot of them go unreported. Happen at a lot of other studios and or businesses in the world. So I mean, being a man that has a daughter and a wife, it's very upsetting. Very upsetting. So.
Oh shit! Shadow Mall's here. Good evening, Shadow Mall. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just noticed he's in chat. Yeah, it's not good. I want him gone, and then after they buy Activision, I want them to buy Ubisoft and fire fucking Guillemot, and then we can have a nice gaming fucking, gaming situation again. Because those two need to fucking go. If that shit happens under your nose and you know nothing about it, you have failed as a fucking CEO of a company.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta say, at least with Electronic Arts, Andrew Wilson seems to be learning from some of his mistakes. So it doesn't seem to be as widespread as it is at Ubisoft and Activision.
Still hasn't learned to not ignore his fan base, though, has he?
Well, they did produce Jedi Fallen Order, but I guess that was because Kathleen Kennedy had his balls, and she said, "I'm going to rip them off unless you make things right." And he's like, he's like, Respawn. He's like, "Please help me. I like my balls where they are, please." And they said, "Oh, we'll make a Star Wars game for you, and it'll be phenomenal." And they did, and everyone's like, "Wow!" And he's like, "Oh, thank God." And she's like, "Next time, your ass is mine." So that's really what happened, but it's all good.
I'm quite exciting. Your ass is mine.
No, they just need to make Vince Impella the CEO for EA at some point. Just put him in charge of the whole thing, because it seems like at least what he touches turns to gold. And now they have him working on the next Battlefield, so hopefully it doesn't get released or launched in as bad a state as the first one or the previous one from 2042. So
I'll tell you what, that actually leads us quite nicely into our next topic, which is former DICE developer claims Battlefield 2042 never stood a chance of being great at launch. I believe him, honestly. Fucking Stevie Wonder could have played that beta and realized it was not in a good state. It was fucking horrendous.
Well, one of the most tragic things about Battlefield 2042 failing is the voice actor for Irish. That was the last game he worked on. He passed away after that. And he was a great voice actor. I loved his character in Battlefield 4, and it just feels you want someone to have a good send off, kind of like how Lance Reddick, he had all the lines for, I think, Destiny 2 already recorded, and it's like it's like we never know when we're going to pass, but if that was their last project, you want it to be successful so that it's remembered in a positive manner. And it just feels like it sucks because he's never going to be in another Battlefield game again, and the last Battlefield game he was in was it was pretty bad. So it's tragic. It's tragic.
Alexander says, do you guys think Microsoft will win the appeal? It's hard to say, honestly. I think it's hard to say. I got a feeling they're going to bully and make the CMA look so useless that they'll just buckle.
Thing is, with even though the CMA and it goes to Cat chucks it back to CMA to relook at it. It's extremely, very, very, very rare that the CMAs actually overturn their decision. They usually just stick with their decision anyway. So even though it's going to Cat, and Cat might fire it back, because Cat won't overturn the decision. All they do is, if there's enough grounds for the appeal to go through, they just pretty much turn around and tell CMA, right, relook at it, relook at these points, and see if you come back with a different decision. If the CMA still say no, then that is it. There is no, that's it. There's nowhere else to go. But it's very rare CMA ever actually change a decision.
Did you listen to the hearing yesterday?
No, I didn't. I still need to catch up on
it. You really should have. I think that's what do you say that? And I don't mean to interrupt you. And I apologize.
No, you're okay. No.
If for what it's the precedent is not there. That's true, but that doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen. It just because it's never happened doesn't mean it's not possible. And the way that judge was talking, he was livid. He was pissed off that they were not further along, and he made some of the good points. Some of Microsoft's points he threw back at them right there in front of him. And so it's. I have a feeling that because when it reconvenes in 2 weeks, I don't know. This may be the game changer, but we'll see.
I hope so. Yeah. Oh no, I agree. I
wouldn't
do
give up
hope
hope,
so.
man.
Yeah. Oh no, I've still got a bit of hope. I do hope it goes through because then I benefit through Game Pass, and I do believe it is a good thing for the industry. I know I'm a PlayStation guy as well as an Xbox guy, but I really do think it'll be good for the industry, and I am praying and hoping that CMA, when it gets sent back to the CMA, they relook at it and they reverse their decision. But UK, all we know how is to screw everyone and fuck everything up. That's kind of see the UK is what they do best. We screw everything up for everyone else around the world.
Yeah. Hey,
Still hoping.
I do want to say, Drawn TJ, thank you again for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. No new Command and Conquer. No, EA doesn't learn. Sometimes EA does well. Sometimes they don't. With certain things, they've learned and they've progressed. Other times they haven't. Like a new Command and Conquer game isn't anywhere to be found. Hopefully at some point we see that franchise come back. I'm sorry, BMG, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to, go ahead.
No, I forgot what I was saying, but I just want to also give a shout out. Thank you, Shadow Mole, for becoming our newest member on our platform. And
what legend!
There is also Ash messaged us before 2 videos that were meant to go live over the weekend because he's away on holiday. He's helping feed the homeless and building houses by the sea and things like that. He's not been able to upload them, but they are coming in the next couple of days. But you can also join for as little as 99p, get exclusive content, exclusive videos, polls to vote on games you want to see us play, and also things you'd like to see us do in the future. It all helps us keep doing what we're doing. And thank you, everyone, for your support. We extremely appreciate it. And we extremely appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day, busy schedules, to come and watch what we do, interact in chat, and especially our guests as well, taking time out of their day to join us. We're very humbled and we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Awesome to be here.
Oh, man, honestly, it's a pleasure to have you. It's always good when we get special guests on and stuff, and get some new new opinions and stuff.
And I'm still wearing pants.
Oh my god!
Oh, Fuzzy's so disappointed.
Oh Jesus!
So where do we get up to with the Battlefield 2042 topic?
Yeah, we were discussing, I think, ABK, if I remember correctly.
I feel bad for the guys at fucking DICE because EA do this to them all the time. They make them put the game out and then they fucking say, "Oh, we're sorry it launched in such a state," and then DICE will fix it. No, you should have given them the fucking time they needed to get the game ready in the first place.
It's kind of like Kratos says, "Don't be sorry, be better."
Yeah,
that's exactly. They need to take that into consideration.
Vince Zampella, he's now taken over, hasn't he? So he's going to help direct, send it in a new direction or whatever they can do. I've always enjoyed Battlefield games. 2042 I've played. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought. I remember that reveal trailer. That reveal trailer was absolutely amazing, and it was like, this is Battlefield back. And then, shit show came out.
I really wanted to like 2042 because honestly, one of my favorite Battlefields ever is 2142. That game was fucking awesome, and I really hoped that this was going to recapture that feeling. But it's a fucking mess, and none of the maps are good. None of the maps are memorable. It's just a fucking shit show. Like Battlefield 4, when they showed that off, I mean, I know that game launched in such a shit state, but by the time that game was like polished and done, it was such a good fucking game. The Levolution was incredible, dropping the whole fucking skyscraper and shit, and then it was just such good fun, and all that magic has just been lost in this game. There's just nothing wow about it. It's like, oh, another fucking COD clone. I want a Battlefield where it feels like a Battlefield. Medic, support, sniper, assault. I want 4 classes. I want them all to be significant in their own ways. I don't like this. Anybody can fucking heal. Anybody can revive shit. It's just tedious. Sorry. Anyway, rant over. Wandering Dutch, new member. Thank you ever so much, my dude. Appreciate the support. It really does mean a lot to us. But yeah, I think we're running out of topics here now. I think BMG has set up another awesome round of 20 questions.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, I'll let you take that away, BMG.
Yeah, no worries. For anyone that is new, that is joining us, at the end of each show, we play a game called Video Game 20 Questions. I have a game, and the panel has 20 questions. Last question being the guest of the game to guess the game I have written down. I can only answer yes or no. Be a bit flexible on some things because, we want to keep it fun. The panel are not allowed to use any means like internet, Google, anything like that. It's got to dive into their mind palaces to guess the game. We also encourage the chat to help get questions for the panel to ask. It's just a bit of fun, but from there, let the questioning begin.
All right, so do you want me to start off with the first question, or?
You know what? We can start however you guys want. Fuzzy, if you want to go first, then WebDave. Either Redders or myself will take the next question. Just so you guys know, Fuzzy and WebDave, I will actually, as we ask the questions, I'll number them and put them in the private chat we have so that we can keep track of them. That way, if you guys are trying to brainstorm, you just look at the private chat and all the questions asked so far will be there for your reference.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
All right. I think based on what we did on the other show or on the other podcast, I'm going to start off with, is this a first-party title or a first-party publisher that made this game?
No.
Okay.
I've never played this game before. This ought to be interesting.
Yeah, it's just been fun. It's literally just I can only answer yes and no. I can be a bit vague on some things, if depending what you ask. But yeah, it's all just a bit of good fun. It's just trying to figure out the game I've got. General questions that have been asked before, like genre, is it in a series? What generation of consoles it came out? Things like that.
Okay, but you can only answer yes or no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy Christ. Let's see here. I got a lot of questions, but none of them are something I can air publicly. Let's see. Holy Christ. Let me think. Is it a shooting game?
There is shooting, yeah.
I consider that a win for me. I'm done. No, I'm kidding.
Is it a first-person shooting game?
No, but I will say just a bit of a freebie. There is you can rather do melee or shooting or a mixture. So there's both options there.
It's not a first-party publisher.
So if there's shooting in melee, then it's obviously going to be third person. Okay. Right.
Interesting. Whose go is it?
I believe it's yours.
Is it mine? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a first-party publisher. It's a shooting game, but it's not a first-person shooter. Is it a multi-plat?
When it originally launched, no.
Oh.
But you could play it backwards compatible now. So you could play it on modern consoles, but when it launched, it was only on one.
Right.
That should help a bit. Because if I say you can't, then it's like it gets confusing later on. So.
That's a tough.
Well, hopefully I won't fuck it up this time.
No, Redders, that game is actually first person.
Is it?
Yeah. I was playing it like last week, so yeah, I'm sure.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it
is.
absolutely isn't, because you could like whip people and kick them into shit. I'm sure.
Trust me, it's first person. It is absolutely first person. Go ahead, look it up.
I'm fucking gonna.
I'm like a gaming Jedi master, so I know this. All right, Fuzzy, it's your chance, Fuzzy, or your question.
All right.
It's yours, isn't it?
No, it was mine and then yours, and now it's Fuzzy's. Then it'll be WebDave's.
Oh, okay, we're going the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Are there? Do you drive vehicles in this game?
I'm pretty sure it's a no, but just let me confirm it.
God, Fuzzy, it's not Forza. God.
No,
I know,
it's
right?
definitely a no. No, it is a no. I was just double checking, but it's a no. That's 5.
Well, then Fuzzy's not going to know what the game is anyway. So. I'm just kidding. I love you, man. I love you.
Wow.
He knows I'm kidding. Let's see. Questions. Is it available on PC?
Sorry, I just want to make.
Wikipedia might help you out.
Yes, no, yeah, I've got it. I just had to scroll down. The internet in the house is starting to go on the fritz. So, but yeah, it was available on PC. It still is.
All right, so you said it was an exclusive when it launched, right? But it's available through backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it an Xbox exclusive?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was an exclusive when it launched, but it's now available through backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So is it still exclusive?
Well, not if it's available on PC.
No.
But you can also play it on other consoles now as well. But when this game originally launched, it was exclusive to Xbox.
Right.
According to Wikipedia, so there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see that link. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
Damn it.
I haven't got a fucking clue what to ask.
Yeah, hold on.
The generation.
Yeah, you could do that. That's what I was thinking.
Come on, chat. Help if you've got any questions. Help the panel out.
Is it?
Well,
is it set in space?
In a sense.
oh,
There is
Jesus.
bits. There are bits in space, but mainly you would be on a planet.
Oh.
Okay, all right. Your question, Fuzzy.
Is this game part of a series?
Yes. But I'll give you a little bit of a freebie. This, as it stands, the series isn't currently active. So
Okay.
I feel like if I enough, I'll get the answer.
Right.
My turn for a question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, let's see. Wait, let's ponder back at what you've got so far. All right, so possibly. Okay, shooting, non-FPS.
Maybe narrow down what Xbox console it was, generation. Maybe that might help.
Is it from the original
Who knows?
Xbox Gen 1?
Yes.
Okay.
That's 10.
We've got 10 more.
Yeah. And one of them has to be the guess. If you guess the game at any point, because you could ask the name of the game at any point and it's wrong, then you automatically lose.
All right. So just a quick review before we ask the next question. More than likely third person shooter.
I didn't have the OG Xbox. I haven't got a fucking clue.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Me neither.
I would have
space.
Yeah, well, you've got little bits in space. I think the space bit is probably mainly cutscene-ish, but it's a game everyone here would have heard of. I wouldn't pick a game that I didn't think nobody would know.
I don't believe you.
No,
I know, right?
no.
Especially after Tuesday, Fuzzy can attest to that.
That was my bad.
Are
That
there
was
gangs
my
in
bad.
it? Well, no.
Yeah, saying there's no street gangs in it and it's Crackdown. I'm like, are you fucking serious? It's all good though.
That was my bad.
There's cutscenes in space.
Yeah, like if you're transitioning and stuff like that, and you could walk around on a spaceship in like small bits. And...
Fuck if I know.
It's part of a series. Let's see.
Yeah, that has me thinking.
All right. To possibly help with the process of elimination, is this IP a licensed brand kind of IP? Something like a Star Wars or Marvel or something like that?
Yes.
I know, it's kind of like,
It's a well-known IP across pretty much all media. An IP everyone's heard of.
it's not a fighting game, is it?
No.
Okay. I'm asking because there was like a Star Wars fighting game that BMG picked before, and it was kind of like, what the hell?
Nope. That was Ash. That was Ash.
Oh, that was right.
It's a great game. It's a great game. No one can pronounce it, but it's great.
That's.
I'm just. I know that sounds like a kind of a stupid question, but we had that game before, so I just want to make sure it's not that game. Because that was like a what the hell, kind of moment.
I can't even spell the game's name, no matter but he say it, so no, I won't pick that.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, there were a few of the original Xbox games, and it's in backwards compatibility. So, for those of us that regularly look through the backwards compatibility list, it's probably going to be something that we know. I just have to remember back because it's like there's a few 360 games, but there's a lot of original Xbox Star Wars games.
Yeah.
So.
And that was why I put the one, but that one, it was being currently worked on, and then it got shelved, or at least that's what we're hearing. It got shelved.
So the interesting thing about this is that he said you can't really operate vehicles.
Yeah.
Right. So something like Jedi Starfighter, it's not going to be, because that's going to be primarily in vehicles, obviously.
Just the question Fuzzy asked, if it was a licensed IP, and he said, like, i.e. Star Wars, Marvel, and all that. He never asked if it was a Star Wars IP.
Yeah, we're just throwing that out there.
I don't want you to. That's just to clarify. He just asked if it was a licensed IP.
Yeah.
What question are we on, and whose turn is it?
You've had 12. You've 12 so far.
Oh, 12? I thought we were on 11 so far.
No, 12.
I think he counted the licensed IP.
Is it my question?
Yeah.
Is it a Star Wars game?
Yes.
There you go.
See, there you go. I mean, the writing's on the wall with that one already, so it's just going to be something that's based on the ground, that was not available on a PlayStation console, was only on original Xbox. So that pretty much tosses out the original Battlefront, because Battlefront, I remember, being available on PlayStation 2 also. So it's going to be something very specific.
Yeah. There's only one that I really know the name of, and I don't, because I think that one actually has vehicles in it, so I don't think it's that one.
Yeah. We could narrow it down, because with Star Wars, there's two sides to it. One is obviously Jedi versus Sith, and the other one is more about, different types of combat. So we could narrow it down. Oh, this is difficult. It's difficult because I downloaded all of those games on my Xbox, but I didn't really pay too much attention to them. Oh, Jesus.
Fake Star Wars fan.
Oh, right.
Does it count if we're a Star Trek over Star Wars fan? Actually, I like both because it's sci-fi, but
I do like both.
Trek guy.
I like both, but I'm more Star Wars, but I like both.
I can't remember if you can shoot in those two games, or if they're just melee only.
Yeah.
I feel like there's only 3 games that it can be.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that there was a 1 and 2 of that one that I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I just thought that was the one.
Actually, wait. He said that it's part of a franchise, but it's also part of a series, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 of those games that are part of a series. The other one was a standalone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
then it's got to be that. It's.
Well,
is there anything else specific that we can draw from?
Yeah, he said it's not. He said it's not being developed anymore, and we know the one. PlayStation is making a remake of it,
But it's been shelved.
Yeah, it's been shelved.
I thought they were actively working on it right now.
Nope.
It just got recently shelved.
Yep.
is it my question?
Yeah, I mean, whoever's, I guess.
Is it a sequel?
No.
There you go. We know what it is.
So it's
Okay.
the first one.
You want to take a stab at it? I think you're on the right track from the way it sounded.
Go ahead, Fuzzy. I mean, we can narrow it down more if you want.
I don't know what other questions to ask on it because that was one of those games I was kind of looking forward to being on PlayStation so I could at least try it in like modern day graphics or something.
Does this game is a main focus of this game the Jedi Knights?
You could say that. And the only reason, it's no, but it's that's for the sake of it, yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, then it's
All right, so Buzzy or WebDave, whichever one of you want to, I guess. I mean, we're pretty set on what
Buzzy's
it is.
before me. Go ahead, Buzz.
He's like, you go, not me. Right.
it's all on me if we get this wrong.
Is it?
I'm gonna say KOTOR 1 or the original KOTOR.
I see the
That
Republic.
is correct. Star Wars.
Nice.
Old Republic. Come out in 2003. Original Xbox, where you could play it backwards compatible.
Nice.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Developed by BioWare, published by Lucas Arts at the time. She's no longer there. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I hope at some point it gets put back into production, but from what we've heard from behind the scenes of it being shelved, it didn't show well. Maybe in the hands of a different team. I know Embracer was going to put it in the hands of a different team, but now they're having financial trouble, so it's like...
Yeah.
Just a Superman's comment where he's saying Star Wars The Old Republic is still ongoing. No, that's a different game. Knights of the Old Republic only had 2 games, Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. Star Wars The Old Republic is set even before that. And I wouldn't have counted that as part of the series.
Yeah. Nice. Outstanding.
Awesome. Now, I thought I'd go a little bit harder this time, but it's, again, I always pick a game that I know everyone would know. Even if you haven't played it, you would have heard of it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the vehicle stuff. I thought it may have had vehicles in it, but like I said, I hadn't played it. I was looking forward to it coming out because I was like, oh wow, Sony kind of stole from under Xbox's nose, and then all the trouble they had. It's like,
I'm 99% sure you can't in the first one. I know you can in the Old Republic, the MMO, but I'm pretty sure you couldn't in this game. But it also recently released, earlier this year, released it on Nintendo Switch, both games.
Nice.
Outstanding.
Well, I think that's all we've got time for tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll tell you what, tonight's show has been fucking amazing. It's probably one of the best shows I've done. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that's been in chat. A massive shout out to Drawn TJ for all the super chats. We've picked up a couple of new channel members, Wandering Dutch. We've got Shadow Mall. I believe we picked up another one earlier. Let me just
WebDave.
WebDave, yes. WebDave. And yeah, chat's been absolutely fire. Really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to call it a night for tonight. But before we go, Fuzzy Belvedere and WebDave, just let everybody know where they can find you and what you've got going on and stuff. Fuzzy, you take it away.
All right. Well, thank you for having me on. It was awesome being here with you guys and playing 20 questions, even if it's a game I haven't touched yet. But still, it was pretty cool, chatting with you guys on all the topics and stuff. And for anybody in the chat that wants to hear my endless rambles or rants, just follow me on Twitter, Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me tomorrow on Breakfast with Boom on Double Barrel Gaming with WebDave, Mr. Boomstick XL, Crispy Bomb, and Dreadpool on at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on Double Barrel Gaming. And then later that evening on Xbox Ultimate on Fun Speculations channel. Basically, it's a Xbox-centric podcast as well, but sometimes we get off topic and off script, so definitely hang in there for some of the stuff that we get into. And then the Shop Podcast on Saturday on PTK Blam's channel with PTK Blam and Pong Soul. Definitely going to be giving our predictions for the upcoming showcase as well. But awesome being here with you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome. We'll get you on again for sure. WebDave, where can we find you, buddy?
Gosh, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. And of course, with my buddy Fuzzy, I love it. Follow him everywhere. He's awesome. We're on 2 shows together, even. Poor guy.
Nice.
But yeah, at Outbreak Gamers is my website with YouTube, and definitely if you get a chance, go over there and check it out. Got a lot of interviews, and I know of 3 gentlemen right up here that I'm going to have to interview real soon. So you guys get ready for those requests for interviews. They're coming your way. Just telling you, it's going to happen.
Right.
And then you may reject them. You're like, oh, remember that guy? Forget him. But no. And then every Sunday we have a Gamers Council, which is our new show that we're doing, and it's really taken off. It's doing really well. Excited for that. This Sunday show is at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this Sunday we're going to have Mav from Fun Speculation. We've got Brisket for the Biscuit, and we've got the Mag. Are all going to be on the show. We're all talking about the speculations and predictions for the show. And then the next week is our big show. Of course, it actually falls later on regular time for us, but it's going to be on the day of the big show for Microsoft. And on that show, we've got Tim Dog and Dirt Griggity. So it's going to be a really big show. So check that out.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. It's been awesome having you on. We'll definitely have to get you on again in the future. Tonight's show has been, honestly, it's been one of the best ones I've been on. So, yeah, we're going to call it there for tonight. Sunday, I believe we've got the Destiny podcast hosted by BMG. Tuesday, PSN Party Podcast returns at 8:30, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep, 8:30 p.m. BST. Sentinel is actually, because we usually take a break in August because things quieten down and things are busy. Sentinel will be hosting PSN Party Podcast for the remainder till we go on break, because for me, work's really busy at the moment, so I'm quite last minute or going to be late. So he's our vice president of talent relations is hosting.
Yeah.
But the XBL will be back same time next Thursday, 8 o'clock British Standard Time. But
I got whoa, hold the phone. Isn't next Thursday the Summer Games Fest show?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think we'll...
Yeah, we're not having a show next week for XBL.
Oh, okay. Right, fair enough. But we won't be here, but we will be watching the Summer Games Fest. So
live watch along. We'll be live stream, live watch along. So feel free to join us.
I completely forgot all about that. Nice one. So yeah, we'll be back next week doing the Summer Games Fest coverage, and then I believe we're doing the Xbox Games coverage on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm with it. I'm totally with it. Yeah.
Nice.
Cheers for tuning in, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you next week. All the best.
Take care.
Later.
Hail Satan.